Certainly more aggressive than the Coddle, that's for sure, but the other side, Empire, okay. They're going to take that Death Prophet again, and, well, considering they
Yeah,
have the
why not?
Mars, should probably be
Worked the
Dojin's hero.
first game.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Let's go for the deep again. No sorry. Meanwhile, starting to ban out some carry options at this point. Starting with the Drow. Okay. Another hero that's kind of iffy on popularity, but in the right circumstances, it is kind of tough to do. So,
Yeah, it's interesting that they banned it, because usually Storm Spirit is quite good against heroes like Drow and Sniper that just sit back and right click. Wonder which carry they're gonna go for now. I could see something like a Monkey King or a Razor working really well.
I think there's a potential threat for Empire to go for some sort of illusion-based carry, like the PL, TB, something like that, or do they skip
Yeah,
over
for
it?
sure. I think PL looks quite good here. I haven't seen too much of him recently, and I was quite happy with that.
Just thinking of...
Go for Ursa ban. I was considering Ursa, but I think No Sorry has plenty of lockdown to deal with him. But I guess you just don't want to take the risk of him getting on top of your Dursa and just destroying her.
time for Empire, just looking at that off lane position. Banned out the Sand King already. They stole the Mars for themselves, so... Oh. You're no sorry. Maybe you could think a little unconventionally. There's been the occasional, I want to say just Necrophos play being thrown out there, but unconventional for a reason. Not really sure if that's the way that they're looking. Empire, though, is the final ban on that Slardar. So last time around, last hero wasn't fantastic on the Slardar, but I suppose in theory we saw what it's supposed to be able to contribute, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't really think it fits the style right now, because Slardar is one of those heroes where you jump in and destroy one hero quickly and then go back again and then repeat that. But No Sorry, didn't really have the heroes for it last game and definitely doesn't have them this game.
Okay.
Instead they go for the axe. It's also initiation, but a bit more committee, which I like.
And you have that sort of maybe execution play with the Culling Blade that can get you through someone like the Mars of the DP maybe a little bit faster, especially the Death Prophet. If you get her to the threshold and just cut her off there, then that healing maybe doesn't come into play, and all of a sudden the team fight looks a little more manageable. Of course, that's
Yep.
assuming you get the DP that low in the first place, which is not easy as we saw in that previous match, so still gonna have their work cut out for them, but see what the Axe can do. Meanwhile, for Empire, Wingblade, what are you thinking here carry-wise for them?
Hmm. I was thinking of illusion heroes as well, but they look a lot less appealing with the axe, so I
Right.
would say still Razor or Monkey King. Razor, because you can just steal all of Deuce's damage, and there isn't really a lot of burst damage to get through the Razor quickly. And Monkey King, because you can buy a diffusal and just be really mobile and annoying on the map. But I think the former is more likely than the latter. Could go for a Void as well if they want to, I guess. Nice lockdown for the Storm. Good control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, wouldn't work. That wouldn't work too poorly for them, and then save maybe your sort of Soulbind and Silence play for after the Chrono, and then should be able to clean up unless your Faceless Void just has no damage. So
Mm-hmm.
have some
Which
options.
is an option.
Okay,
It's gonna be the Razor.
little bit more sort of simple and straightforward for them, and I don't know. I mean, feels like the Razor's set up quite nicely. You could even sort of run him in there with the Grimstroke. Illusion can hit him with your Inkswell play. You could technically go for the Soulbind into maybe trying to get Static Link onto sort of multiple targets, so I don't really think that's a massive priority, but it could still happen. Well,
So I have to say, once again, I favorite Team Empire here. I feel like it's easier for them to just run and use their spells and win the fight. Well, no, sorry, they need to be a bit more, I don't know, meticulous with the way they initiate their fights. They need to find the right targets, make sure their storm doesn't mess up. It's just more difficult to execute.
of execution on Team Empire's side, kind of said the same thing in game 1, but if you're no sorry, I don't know. You've always got the Medusa. As long as Dream is still farming, you will always technically have hope. You're no sorry, maybe you're just kind of hoping to maybe get a little bit of that same magic that the Spectre had earlier in the day, where you're just able to sort of hit that critical mass and just kind of start shifting momentum entirely.
See if we see another 5-man smoke to the river. Doesn't look like it just yet.
No
Yeah,
such
smokes on anyone.
little
What's
strange.
up with every carry starting with a magic wand and 3 branches? It's crazy.
Did the Deuce do the same? Okay, Quelling Blade instead of
Got
2
a
of the
Quelling
branches.
Blade.
That's... I don't know. I'm not entirely sure when that happened. I've seen it kind of consistently here, so... I don't know about the efficiency. Have not run the numbers, you know, on the early wand play, but if everybody's doing it in the carry position, it's for a reason. It shall see, as No Sorry is kind of holding their high ground at the moment, not looking to get too aggressive, don't want to push across the river right now, so don't really think anything's going to come of this. Both sides will just sort of hold their line. Team Empire set up the vision here, one mid, the other up on the sort of high ground cliff here near the top lane, so not looking to do anything crazy just yet, although as I say that, they are making a play to try and steal a rune, but on the other side of the river, No Sorry are doing the exact same thing, so those two plays basically cancel each other out. So, 2 bounties to each side, and very interested to see.
I sense a connection between
And
us.
they shouldn't actually commit to this, right? They got the tri-lane setup. Maybe they try for one early kill, but don't have Bushwhack, don't have the taunt. There's not even a nightmare here, so realistically speaking, I don't know if they can do this, but they're going to give it a go. Pushing on to BZZ. Nice bit of early damage being applied, but that's all it's going to be, and the Bane will now TP up top to help the Deuce out.
Yeah, and he really needs the help.
This is where that
he
build...
got bullied at the same time.
It's a little weird, because you have a wand, and you lost 2/3 of your health, so... I don't know. That's still a bit of a head scratcher.
He does have a 1 charge. That's nice.
But yeah, with the Bane back up in the lane, Dream should be in a little bit safer of a position. It was an interesting attempt to try and get on the clockwork there early on.
Would expect a similar result from the mid lane this game, but so far Manic has been doing a bit of a better job. 12 CS already.
Yeah, that is going to be so important for him. Dodrin just kind of built up that early experience lead, and we saw from Manic the lack of level 6 that cost him his life once, and then made the rotations beyond that point, so gotta be heavily invested in making sure that doesn't happen again, as he is trading out some damage with Dodrin. The body blocks are even sort of coming into play, and Dodrin's got to be very careful there. He will fall back eventually, gets his bottle delivered, so he will be fine, but it was a bit of a close call there for a moment. Oh. Tried for it again. Manic, I think he would have been okay even without the Fairy Fire, but he wasn't willing to take that chance. But now, well, now might be Dodrin's time to shift this control a little bit more in his favor like he did in game 1, because, yeah, look at him go. He just tries to push forward, hoping to hit the Crypt Swarm in there, but Manic can dodge it out, and hopefully that just sort of keeps him in this lane and even with his opponent for a little bit more.
Sentry just slightly outside of the servo's range.
Just a bit off. Dodrin's not going to care too much. He just continues to farm here. Meanwhile, Manic is going to try and grab the bounty rune to refill his own bottle. Not a bad play. The only problem is that does take you out of lane for a considerably longer time compared to just going after the water rune. So Dodrin was able to sort of catch back up a little bit, but overall Manic should still be just fine. All up top. Thought for a moment they were looking to go in onto the Bane, but Black Archangel catches him with the Nightmare first, and, well, that is going to be sort of the play for them here, well, to try and cancel out that combo. But if he's the one who gets hit by the spear, doesn't really work, but look at that.
Branch.
Okay.
That was a heads-up play. Damn.
Next level stuff. Yeah, he's straight up dead if he doesn't throw that down, so nicely done by the Bane. Still leaves him in an awkward spot health-wise, but it sure beats giving up first blood.
Yeah, for sure. This lane would have been a nightmare if Melis got first blood there. Or Illusion, for that matter.
Is this Retrograde? Got chased underneath and then out from under his own tier 1 tower. Clockwork sort of stepped out of lane for a moment, so Retrograde was by himself, but ZZ returns, passes a salve. They got the trap onto Yawn, and they should really just have this kill. Last hero can't do anything to defend.
I'm really unsure why they were so aggressive there, because they know Razor has 11-1 charges.
And that's...
Huh.
I mean, if you're your last hero on the axe, you can afford to be there, but the Hoodwink...
I think last hero would have died as well without the Hoodwink, because he doesn't have boots, so his tankiness doesn't really matter. He just gets ran down.
Bit of a strange one, which... Oh man, like... You don't have the taunt from the axe, you weren't really going to be able to keep Retrograde in position, so as you said, it's just kind of an awkward attempt. In the meantime, what's going on? They get the bushwhack onto BZZ. Can they finish him off, though? Manic isn't 6 yet, so fortunately for No Sorry, they're going to miss out on that opportunity, and Clockwork is just going to sort of walk away. Actually, maybe he's not. He's going to salve up, so he could sort of just slide back into this fight. I'm not sure No Sorry realized that he's still around. It's going to make the defense of this tier 1 tower a little bit tougher for them, but they popped their own glyph. Dodrin is not willing to sort of eat too many tower shots to save the siege creep, so crisis averted, I suppose.
Worth the risk.
Now you got 6 heroes in the middle lane, so something's got to go down here.
I love how it's like a mirror of the previous game. Where at 6, I mean, with the 5-minute catapult, Dodrin tries to go for the exorcism on the mid tower, but this time the No Sorry supports know what's coming and just rotate in instantly to kill the creep wave, making sure you don't lose the tower too quickly.
Dodrin's got a haste rune. He's making his way down bot. Last hero is looking for the TP home, and yeah, neither Dodrin nor Retrograde have any cancel for that, so yeah, you know, it's worth a shot. You got a haste rune, give it a go, but last hero is not really going to get himself caught out like is he not really looking to make a play? He was just trying to think sap experience, and I might be in some trouble because there's going to be the bushwhack stun onto him. This time Manic does have that ball lightning, so yeah, that clock is not getting himself out of here. He was lucky the first time when Manic was 5, but this time around he does get picked off, and No Sorry have their first kill of the game. First kill of the game for them. They get that kill into Manic's hands as well, so the Storm Spirit can build himself up. But while that's happening up in the top lane, Melis made an attempt. He's like 1 experience point away from hitting 6, so fortunately the timing was just a little bit off there. Still not sure if they get the kill even with the arena, but without it, there's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
It's got it now, though. Could make a second
Archangel
attempt.
does.
Yeah, they're
Lester
gonna
now
do
has
that.
his Vanguard, so he's very happy on this action. Could still be in trouble though.
Top lane, they're not able to get either of those kills. They initially were focusing in on Dream. They sort of shift their focus over to the Bane after, and then the damage is just too split. Meanwhile, last hero, as you said, not quite tanky enough with that Vanguard. Can't deal with the magic damage as Dodrin finds the kill. Manic, though, TP top. He's able to take Illusion in exchange, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but if you're Empire, you're the ones who found the kill onto the core hero there, so going to be in a slightly better position. BZZ, meanwhile, is just dropping sentries really all over this east side jungle, trying to sort of block up some of these camps, perhaps, and up against both the Axe and the Dusa, that is a kind of sizable concern that they make sure that those stacked camps aren't available.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Dodrin, looking for that tower once again. Actually, might be looking for more than that, because Yond, he was ambushed for a moment. BZZ tries to get in, but actually he's the one now who's going to get turned on as last hero takes out the Culling Blade the first time, gets it the second time, and Dodrin is not able to do much to this tower. Twice now he's tried, and twice, well, no sorry have been quick to respond, as you said the last time. They know this trick from the previous game, and they're just not going to let Dodrin take that objective for free.
Mm-hmm. And the mid-tier one is so pivotal. Like, it opens up the entirety of the enemy jungle.
Illusion. Nice timing on the silence into the Inkswell stun, so Manic, well, forced to sort of turn away. Melis was sort of too late to get in there to do anything further, but if you're Illusion, I think the concern there was just making sure you don't get picked off. Now that he's safe, they might just reset, but if they try to make a move onto the Bane, it would have been a 2v1 under the tower. They do see Yond, though, and this would be a much easier kill. Yeah. Straight in. Arena, Rebuke, Spear, Inkswell stun. Nothing Yond can do about that one. Fire will find themselves another kill, and that's going to be important here for this Mars. You really do need him to get involved sort of as early and often as possible, and part of that is going to be getting this Blink Dagger in a solid timing, so actually, he didn't get the kill there, but assists like that are going to sort of propel him a little bit further forward, and actually didn't quite realize he had gone for the Soul Ring. That's why that Blink is maybe coming along a little bit slower than usual, but as long as he doesn't die really once or twice in this lane, he should still be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now BZ coming up here. He's still a bit underleveled. Level 4 on the clockwork, so if he can sneak in behind and drop a battery assault, then probably won't matter too much, but they're a long ways away from having that hook shot to initiate.
There is a tome coming in, so he should get level 6 from that, because he's almost level 5. And it's gonna help a lot. Because quite some of the no-story heroes are really vulnerable to hook plus battery. Like, even Dusa at this stage kind of struggles to deal with it.
Okay, retrograde. He needs to get out of there. He is just dangerously low, but BZZ is able to get in. There's the hookshot onto the Dusa, and you straight up called that play, Wingblade. That Dusa was not ready to deal with that much lockdown. Doesn't have a point skilled up in the Stone Gaze either, so you didn't have that defensive capability, and Empire swing that one around. Now they might be in some trouble. Dodrin, nope. They'll be fine. Silence comes in. Quick thinking there from Illusion using the Tumbler's Toy, and crisis averted. That is Fiend's Grip down for nearly 2 minutes. They still can't get this tower,
They
though.
finally get this tier 1.
Oh, Dodrin wants it
One
so
day
damn
they'll
bad.
get it.
Exorcism has ended. Okay. Nightmare's there, but Retrograde is just going to sort of sit in position anyway. The rune actually spawned down bot anyway, so Got Invis up on BZZ. We'll see if he tries to do anything with that. On the other side of things, though, last hero did finish off his Blink Dagger. It's coming out to him right now with smokes on its way as well, so this could be the time for Nosari to try and swing some momentum and the Axe, ooh, get the Axe going as the hook shot is going to get in onto Yond. Okay. Quick and easy kill for them, and they might be looking for some more because they see the Bane. Black Archangel is just kind of, well, in no man's land, really. Too far forward to be helped out, so they will simply have to let him go.
Come on.
Will they get it? 4th attempt on this tier 1.
It's so close. They should get this, right? Oh no,
oh, he's TPing in.
Oh no, they didn't get it again.
Oh, this is painful. They want it so bad and they're so close, but the Nosari just keep flooding heroes in. They're not going to let it go without a lot of effort from the Empire side. Oh boy. Now, a couple of smoke plays coming out. Melee and Illusion smoked up on one side, a trio of heroes for Nosari on the other. Last hero and the 2 supports looking to maneuver their way into the jungle. The problem is, there's no one to get here really other than BZZ as an immediate target, so hold on, I say that. Dogerin, though, is going to wander back over. They do see him. There's going to be the taunt. BZZ, though, looking for the interrupt. He's actually going to jump onto Yond on the backline, and now Melis is in. Drops the arena down onto 2. They got the Soulbind into the Inkswell stun to lock him down. Last hero's dead first. The Storm able to zip away for now. He'll look for the TP home. Can anyone hit him in time? Yes. Dogerin able to connect with the Crypt Storm. They find the kill while BZZ hunts down Yond, and over in the middle lane, Retrograde rotated over to take out that retreating Bane, so Wingblade, that's always the worst type of fight. The fight you initiate and still lose, and now they get the teamfight win, and that damn tier 1 tower.
Game is over.
They got it. 14 minutes and 5 attempts.
They got it later, but I feel like they're in a better position than last game even.
Well, certainly feels like momentum's on their side. 10-3 kill score, 3k net worth lead. They've got pretty sizable advantage in terms of the net worth over really everyone other than the Medusa, and taking a look at the levels, supports are relatively even, but there is a discrepancy now between the core heroes, so as long as Empire sort of keep their foot on the gas here and don't let up, they should still be in a solid position.
And Reza is gonna finish his BKB now. And they're gonna hit such a power peak because Reza's net worth makes sure that he can't get hit by spells for 9 seconds. Medusa's net worth sits in the fact that she gets...
Okay.
That's a nice call.
Oh. Well, when I said the beta, I was actually trying to reference Melee's there, waiting for the Storm to zip in, but last hero sort of counters it. Blinks in, gets the taunt. They find both of the kills. BZZ is not going to get picked off as he makes it away, but this was the play we've been waiting to see from this Axe, right? He has that capability. You go from a Storm Spirit being sort of dead to rights to suddenly swinging that in your favor, and last hero got both, I think, both of those kills with the Culling Blade, so I'm going to build up a little bit of extra armor, but now Dream in the middle lane is not going to get caught, but that is Stone Gaze being put on cooldown, and the rest of Nosari need to make sure that they get out of here as well. Looks like they should clear out, or maybe not. Meles is not actually going to be able to close the gap, but up to the north, at Eastside Jungle, Retrograde's pushing his way forward. Eye of the Storm's getting some damage onto Black Archangel. Should be enough to finish him off, and yeah, that is going to be the Razor getting the kill, but you only lose your Bane.
He's getting a blink.
Yes, he is. Okay.
I really like that against Dusa. Just blink on top of her, get the link off. That's like the only thing you need to do on Razor this game.
Well, see if he picks that up and goes hunting for the Dusa in these fights. Meanwhile, Dogerin pops the Exo. They're going to push into the pit. They would love to have some vision, though, of Manic here, because Storm is still in a position. Actually, his mana's not great, so maybe he's not, but the fact that they don't really have any eyes on him at the moment is kind of concerning. You see everyone other than Dogerin and Retrograde.
Nah.
They're sort of trying to just sort of stand in between. But They take Roshan, they get the Aegis. Melee's, meanwhile, catches Black Archangel for the kill. Didn't have to use the arena for that one either, so we'll keep that up and running, and now they've got a chance. Push their way forward. Maybe get onto the tier 2 tower here, but only downside of that is that you just used your Exorcism to take Rosh in the first place, so Dodrin maybe isn't ready to go pushing into the towers as Yond. Okay. Nice little two-man play there. Manic's going to try and zip in as well. They get the quick kill onto Illusion. BZZ's in trouble as well. They'll get him with the taunt, but there's going to be the arena from Melee into the spear stun. They've locked down the Storm Spirit. They'll finish him off. That's going to force Last Hero to straight up TP out, but do lose the Storm Spirit, and what you got in exchange was a couple of support kills, so I don't know. If you're No Sorry, you still need to make those plays. They just didn't get the clean getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Scale. Okay. Oh, Retrograde doesn't want it. Sends it to the stash immediately, which I don't know. He's been keeping this Ocean Heart for quite some time, but why not? At this point as Dream. Gotta be careful. This Deuce, not the fastest hero in the world, and as we saw previously, Empire are capable of killing her off. As speaking of potential kills, BZZ gets himself in some trouble mid, but the reinforcements are going to arrive. They'll turn this onto Last Hero. They get the silence down. The Inkswell stun is going to be there. It is Last Hero who gets taken out, so unfortunate turning of momentum. If you're No Sorry, you're relying on this axe to kind of carry the baton until your Storm and your Deuce are ready to go. Instead, he gets picked off, but Dodrin caught out as well. With everyone mid, they knew that there wasn't any backup for the DP, so they hit her up with the Fiend's Grip, and that is a solid counter kill for them.
Very nicely done.
Oh.
Not quite gonna hit.
Okay. Melis, might as well. Take a shot. It's on cooldown for a bit, but
Ooh.
worth the attempt for them. In the meantime, yeah, that's a... It's a nice
Spooky
nightmare, but able to really follow that one up. But Retrograde, I don't know, they haven't really been able to do anything to him. He's 4-0 at this point in the game. The pressure's been kind of non-existent onto him, so they've got the means to jump him at this point, right? They've got some sort of lockdown to go through the BKB. It's just a matter of finding Retrograde alone and having the damage to actually kill him, as Black Archangel's going to get hit by that hook shot. Silence comes through as well, and well, it's been that kind of day for all of the Bane players in this event as he gets picked off. And Last Hero, TP away, no cancel, so you're at least able to get the axe out of there.
And to be a masochist to play Bane. But Melis could be in trouble here. Gets broken.
Throws back the spear. Jan doesn't have the damage to get the kill himself, at least not yet, but there's the bushwhack. He blinks out of it. And now, Jan, you may have gone a little bit too far here. Dodrin's just going to track him down. This is on the Crypt Swarm. That's a bit awkward, but it doesn't matter. Still able to find the kill. Melis survives, starts to heal up, and he's actually just going to look to initiate. He drops the arena down, pops the BKB, but he hits the spear onto an illusion. And now it's time to go, but Last Hero jumps in. There's going to be the taunt. Melis is going to get trapped up in this fight. Can they bring him down, though? Not an easy kill as BZZ zips onto the backline. They get the soul line down. Retrograde is in with the static link. They would love to go after the Medusa. They do manage to clip her with that stun, but Manic is still in the fight. The Nightmare into the Fiend's Grip actually keeps Retrograde locked down. And this is not what they wanted at all. They're going to get through that first life, and Empire just have to sort of fall back at this point. But Illusion, he's not going to be able to survive. He did throw an Inkswell onto Dodrin before he died, though, so that gets them back in for the two-man stun. But Dodrin is just sort of fighting here by himself, and Last Hero haunts him through the BKB, hits him with the Culling Blade. And Empire, I feel like that was just too greedy for them, Wingblade. They try to force it with the melee blink play, and if he gets the spear onto the Deusa, maybe we're looking at a different story, but once he hits that illusion, they don't quite have what they wanted to actually turn that fight.
Yeah, they thought they were slightly further ahead, but you can't get away with these kinds of plays, even with an Aegis. You can tell that the DP is still quite squishy too. She just has 8 armor, so she's definitely vulnerable to just straight up being right-clicked down.
Big momentum shift there for No Sorry, but now Last Hero able to blink away, but there's going to be the hook shot coming in. Velas is actually going to hold the spear for as long as he can here, and actually they may not even need it. They don't. ZZ picks it up, and Last Hero, that is the problem. He either needs to initiate the fight himself or get that blink in after the fight's begun. If he just gets jumped in on, then your axe is really not all that durable. Maybe that changes with the BKB, but he's still a ways away from it. Which armor does he have? He's got 7 armor. That's neat. 3 armor for the axe. The problem is, in this game in particular, he's kind of dealing with a lot more magic damage than physical, so it's useful, but gonna save his life too many times as Dodrin. Exo popped. Tier 2 tower should go his way. No glyph available for No Sorry. No heroes in a defensive position, so this has always sort of been one advantage for Empire in this game. Compared to their opponents, their ability to push across this map is still pretty superior. As Retrograde is going to be able to find himself a kill there. The Bane TP's out in time, but yeah, No Sorry just have not been able to get really onto any significant objectives. They take an A tier 1 tower, and really that's it. Of course.
Let's see. So I'm actually going for a Witchblade, so a bit more of a single target oriented build this game.
See how quickly he can pick that up. Meanwhile, Dream is almost
There is
done.
a smoke coming.
Almost done with the Scotty as Melis is going to jump in. They've got eyes on the Bane. Another sort of quick and easy one there as they continue to bully on these supports. Bane 1 and 6 now, so as you were sort of saying before, it's not a fun time for the Bane, but if you're a support player who plays Bane, you kind of know what you signed up for, I guess. Always got to be okay with just sort of eating those deaths. So, doing just fine for himself, and while the Bane dies, Dream farms. Scotty done. Looking for the crit stick now in terms of that sort of damage tick up, so Sorry, we'll always kind of have that Medusa to potentially fall back on, and the further this goes along, the more heroes like the Axe and the Storm won't necessarily have to do much damage themselves. Just keep heroes in a small enough area for the Medusa to do her work, and feels like the fight's still very much winnable for No Sorry.
Getting really close to BKB, Storm getting close to Witchblade. No Sorry is about to hit a pretty spooky timing too. Would be ideal if they could get it right before Roche.
5-man
But they're
smoke
going
play.
now.
Smoke
No
pops
time for
immediately.
patience.
Melee's is going to get both of the supports caught on the back line. They'll lose a support of their own as Illusion goes down, but now there's going to be BZZ jumping in on to the Dusa. Do they have the damage to actually do this, though? Well, not really, but they are getting the Storm. He's still silenced up, so they find that first kill, and now there's the blink. Retrograde is in. He's going to start sucking away the damage, but Dream is hitting him pretty heavily, so Retrograde has to try and TP away, but the Vortex actually cancels his TP, pulls him back into the fight. Dream gets the kill. Now they turn their attention onto Dodrin. They will clean up the Death Prophet as well. It's a triple kill for Dream. A timely buyback from Manic to zip all the way into the fight to cancel out that TP. And, well, looked for a moment like No Sorry were on the verge of letting it slip through their fingers, but they're able to regroup, and they very clearly win that fight.
That was such a top tier buyback from Manic. Pretty much secured them a kill on the enemy carry and on the enemy mid. That is some value.
We are 30 seconds out from Roche. The timing wasn't quite perfect, but at least they have the position on the No Sorry side, something that they were sort of lacking before, but really by the time Roshan's back up, the Razor and the DP are going to be alive as well, so you are still presumably going to be fighting into Empire's full strength. Hook shot in. Spear knocks him back. Inkswell's done. I mean, might as well take your hands off the keyboard at that point. You really just don't get the chance to play as Melees finds the kill, and, well, very unfortunate for No Sorry, because they sort of back away from that favorable position around the pit. Now with the loss of the Hoodwink, gonna have to fight to take it back, but Last Hero is gonna make the jump. They're in onto the Mars, but there's gonna be the Soulbind connecting onto 2. Where's the follow-up? The Razor was a little bit too far away. He's making his way over now, trying to hold the BKB until he can blink in and get that static link. But in the meantime, Melees is kind of just stuck, and, well, I mean, he can't leave, but nobody really chased after him. So all in all, that's going to work just fine. That puts the Stone Gaze on cooldown, and Empire, I still don't know if they want to just force Roshan right now, because there's still 5 heroes on the opposing side, but
Yeah,
at least there's one less ult to worry about.
The Roche is too slow. If you have like a Slouda PA, you can like sneak it, but with just the DP exorcism, it's not gonna be enough.
Smoked up for a
They
moment.
had nice vision. Ooh, they go for
Okay.
it now. That was on the edge of the scan as well. So No Sorry knows this is happening.
Player being sent into the east side jungle, not going to see anything, and now No Sorry will go for the smoke play, and, well, there is still a window. They've got to basically go now, realistically. There's going to be the zip. Manic is into the pit. Roshan still has a little bit of health remaining. BCZ, though, hooks onto the backline as Roshan goes down, but it's Manic who takes the Aegis. And Empire are in some serious trouble here. They're falling back already. They lost Retrograde to the Culling Blade. They can't really afford to fight. They used most of the exorcism duration on Roche itself, so that's exactly why we were sort of saying we didn't think they were going to be able to sneak it. No Sorry push in. They don't get the kill gold for Roshan, but they find the kill. They have the Aegis. They are in a very favorable position.
Mm-hmm. Very nice positioning by Last Hero as well. BCC managed to get 3 people with his hookshot, but Last Hero went like via the north, so he managed to get in the pit still. And that was huge.
3K net worth lead up now for No Sorry as they have fought their way back into this one, and, well, saying in the draft, No Sorry, we're sort of hoping for a little bit of that sort of same late game carry strat that One Move had sort of pulled off, and so far they're working their way not just back into it, but in a position of strength. So Dream on this Medusa really kind of emulating the back-to-back Spectre games we saw in the previous series. Of course, if you're No Sorry, you're not quite across the finish line just yet, but definitely feeling better about their situation now than they were, 5 or 10 minutes ago. Assange finished off there for Godrin. Meanwhile, was that the Ags pickup? Yes, it was. So, Manic's got the Ags. He's actually got both. He's got the Shard as well. So, I don't know. The Overload, certainly not bad. Just extra damage. Always going to be nice, but I feel like the AoE Vortex is really going to be the difference maker for them in terms of how they take these fights. Now, though, no real fight to take. Dream is just sort of acting as the battering ram. Got the tier 2 tower. They are not going to threaten the tier 3. Thought for a moment they would try for it, but they back off instead.
Dream getting close to a Silver Edge, actually. Interesting choice.
Time. Interesting split push play. They got the wave all the way up to the tier 3 top, and does a decent amount of damage to it, honestly. About 6 or 7.
Yeah, not bad.
Buys some time. That is Retrograde with a Refresher Orb, so, well, that might fix some of these problems for Empire, because the last time around, Retrograde, he blinks in, he gets the BKB, he drops a static link. That's great for the initial duration, and then it wears off, and suddenly you're a Razor with no magic immunity and no damage, so... Ooh.
Ooh,
Pressure Orb's gonna
that's
help as
awkward.
BZZ right into the backside of his teammate. Unfortunate. Low cooldown, but that could have been an opportunity for them that they're going to sort of miss out on, but in the meantime, they continue to farm. They get a Mindbreaker up there. Retrograde won't keep it for himself, wants to keep the Titan Sliver, but I don't know. If you're Empire, you need some sort of fight, but they also can't afford to just push into whatever comes their way first. They need to be kind of selective here, because you got to get through the Dusa, and you got to get through the Storm Sphere presumably twice, with this Aegis still up for a minute.
It's actually still a tier 1 bottom. Dodrin is trying to push it out, but we see a huge response from No Sorry.
The TP is there, and that's Empire's cue to leave.
Yep.
Not a bad play there, honestly. You drag the whole opposing lineup across the map, buy yourself some more time. So, solid play to just sort of stall things out. 30 seconds left on the Aegis, so now if you're No Sorry, you might want to wait a little bit, because if you sort of dive in with that timer low, you've seen some crazy things happen with the Aegis expiring. But at this point, Empire might actually make the move for them. They're going to jump in. There's the arena connecting onto 3. They're going to try and take down Yon first. They do manage to do so. And now they just need to get themselves away from that Stone Gaze. They're doing a decent job of dodging it for now. Do they go back in? BZZ is going to hook his way onto the Bane, but they would honestly prefer not to settle for the kill onto the Bane, but I don't think they have too many other options. The rest of No Sorry were able to sort of back themselves away, so they'll take the kill on it to the Bane. That's both the supports dead, and they just did time out sort of in the middle of all that, so Manic wasn't really able to fully commit with both lives there.
And Dream is pretty much 6-slotted now. I'm not sure what he's gonna replace. I guess he could replace his boots. I guess that's a bad sign and a good sign for No Sorry. Because, well, Yodusa is fat, but the downside is, well, she's not gonna get much fatter than this.
For the time being, at least, the Deuce is kind of capped out, and you have a capped out Dusa, and your lead's only about 6k, so feels like Empire are going to have at least an opportunity to maybe close that gap and make the power difference a little bit better for them. But it was interesting in that previous fight, the decision-making from Melis. He blinked in, he dropped the arena, and he got the spear onto the Dusa, but rather than go all in on the Medusa and leave the supports alive, they just sort of cleaned up those two first and sort of let Dream recover from the initial stun. He pops a Stone Gaze, and they all just kind of kite around him for a little bit. So if they can do that consistently, then all of a sudden the Medusa is significantly less scary, but well, doing it consistently is much easier said than done is Manic. Okay.
Manic just having some fun with his Arcane Rune. Why not?
Give it a go and see what you can find. A nice place, though, from Illusion with that Blink Dagger to get himself out of trouble, and this is the item I think that might sort of tip the scales for Empire if somehow Illusion can live long enough to finish off this Aghanim Scepter, get that Dark Portrait, then all of a sudden Medusa Illusion, something that No Sorry might sort of struggle to match up with.
Yeah, for sure. Such a strong ability. It deals 150% of Dusa's damage, like base damage. So it's pretty similar to like the actual Medusa in terms of damage, which is pretty insane if it can live long enough.
Wow. Gond has the decoy there, so sending that out, trying to do a little bit of scouting while he can, and Empire are kind of pushing their way forward here, but there's illusions, there's decoys, there's all sorts of things that just kind of give away that Empire are looking for this play in particular. So be able to make the jump just yet, but they are establishing some vision here, so that's going to push No Sorry back. And how close are we to the next Roche? about a minute and a half here. So if you're Empire, going to be very much invested in trying to maintain control of this exact spot for when Roche does come back up.
Be really good for No Sorry if they could get the jump onto Retrograde, because he's the only hero that can deal with the Dusa.
Razor now just trying to maintain some separation. Who grab? Ninja gear to Melis's hands.
Very sneaky, big man.
Didn't actually keep it though. Kinda disappointed, but the spider legs almost certainly more valuable for him utility-wise, as there's gonna be the jump. Arena is very much off the mark though, so Melis really doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but they did get the soulbind down onto the two main cores, so they are keeping them locked in place. On the back line though, BZZ went in, trying to keep some heroes at arm's length, and they are starting to take this fight, but Manic goes down, immediately buys back. Retrograde deciding not to use his buyback, and without it, this fight's really kind of just over. Dodrin's going to get locked down. Melis gets pulled in by the Vortex into the Culling Blade. Now they turn their attention onto the Clockwork, and that was just too spread out. If you're Empire, they basically initiated onto sort of 3 different groups there and really didn't win any of those fights.
And this Dusa is just getting too big. Even when you do get the link, you might still just die to the straight up physical damage.
They don't take Roshan quite as quickly as they would like to here, but considering all of Empire are basically dead still, they don't really have to be that concerned.
Ooh, and last hero almost has a refresher whip. That is pretty spicy.
So, nearly completed refresher, Aegis on your Storm. He's actually holding on to the refresher shard himself here, so it's a bit of an interesting one for the Storm Spirit, but see if he doesn't pass it off later. Or...
Into Vortex, into Call, into Call. That's 6.4. That's 12.4 seconds of AoE disable. It's quite a lot. Into Stone Gaze stun, which is another 3. Into Bushwhack, which can cool down, so that's another 4.8. You can keep the enemy team in position for like 20 seconds. That's decent.
A bad play at all as... Magnum Scepter up
It's
for Yon.
totally likely to happen, right?
Absolutely. Actually, I mean, the first half is
I hate it
pretty
when
doable.
it happens in my pubs.
Would be pretty simple for Mannequin last year to do their parts of it. Meanwhile, the Boomerang is up for the Hoodwink, so Empire really can't afford to get jumped on here. They've got to be the team initiating, otherwise there's just going to be too much coming their way, but not really sure what position they're in right now in terms of sort of trying to preemptively strike at their opponents. They do have to be sort of careful in terms of defending their base and even get the chance to sort of leave the bases. No Sorry are just pushing their way forward. Odrin can't afford to get hit up, but they are going to get him with the taunt. Last hero looking for the further lockdown. They get the Vortex down as well, and Dodrin, he's just straight up dead. He does have a buyback available. He's not using it just yet, but at this point, I mean, if they don't use these buybacks, their base is going to come under attack. They've already lost 3. Actually, Illusion is one of the heroes who doesn't...
Yeah. He got wrecked, and his Dark Portrait got wrecked as well.
Now Dream is just free to hit the racks. Empire... Well, I don't think there's anything they really can do at this moment. They might just have to sort of sit back and let this happen, because if they're not willing to buy back on Dodrin, they really just don't have a fight right now.
I guess they want to risk it all for the last Rex. See what they can do. But even, I'm not sure if The last Rex is even gonna survive 25 seconds.
Oh.
So they could just rotate to the bottom lane now if they want to. Doesn't look like they're gonna do it though.
Yeah. They'll show a little bit of respect, I suppose, to the damage that Empire, at least hypothetically, have at their disposal. So
I'm not sure why, because they even have the Aegis.
they got the
Like,
Swift
what
Blink
are they
finish.
gonna wait
They
for?
got
The next Roche?
They're making
I
their way
guess
down to
they'll
the
wait for
bottom
creep.
lane. But they didn't need to push this lane in. I mean, they were already kind of where they wanted to be in the base, so...
Yeah,
This is
it's a bit odd.
Although, 28k up, realistically speaking, they can probably just afford to do this the slower way, but... A little bit funky, but as long as Dream is just here to keep clearing through the creep waves, slowly but surely make their way onto that final lane of Rax, and Empire this time cannot afford to wait and see what happens. They are going to have to take this fight, and they're going to have to win it, because I think their lineup is going to do fantastically against a pushing enemy team and Mega Creep, so see what they can do. Storm Spirit zipping his way in, not going to be able to find anyone as Melee's actually blinks forward. He's able to get the initial lockdown there onto the Hoodwink as well as the Medusa, but they need the damage. They are able to take down Yon, but they do need to deal with Dream. His Stone Gaze, though, is going to keep them all at bay. Now the Fiend's Grip out onto Retrograde. Razor dropping low. Electric Vortex pulls him in. Retrograde is dead. No buyback available. They're going to lose the Clockwork as well. Dodrin gets hit by the taunt. They'll clean up both of those heroes with the Culling Blades, and Wingblade, that might just be the end of it here. They're going to give it one last attempt, but they just can't do anything. They're not even getting any damage onto Dream. It's No Sorry will clean house. They kill everyone, and that's GG called. As No Sorry tie up the series.
Yeah, that's the Dream I'm used to. Doubling up the second highest net worth hero in the game.
So far, the
It's done it
argument
pretty well.
for the hyper carry is looking pretty solid. 2 Spectre games, 1 Medusa game now, and takes a little bit of time, obviously, but it's getting the job done. As No Sorry get the win, and as important as the Spectre ended up being there, really got to sort of look at those other 2 cores in particular, the Axe and the Storm. Solid stat lines, just 4 deaths each for them, and it really felt like they held the line long enough for the Dusa to then sort of just take them the rest of the way.
Yep. Yeah. No, this reminded me of like the old Hydra squad where they just create space for Dream, and that's such a good strategy. I feel like after a while people figure it out, but I mean it works. It works wonderfully.
Not a lot of answers for Dream. 8-1-17 for the Dusa, so Empire, well, moving into Game 3, might want to look at some of those hyper carry options. Of course, No Sorry, I mean, they took the Medusa so early that there really wasn't time to ban some of those heroes away, so Empire might just have to, rather than ban the heroes out, work on a better way to deal with them, because this lineup, I don't know, we were saying in the draft, on paper, there was a plan to deal with the Medusa, but in terms of the actual execution, they just really never got the full combination to work.
Yep. I think the draft was okay, just a few execution errors. But we'll see next game. I mean, even if the draft was okay, you probably don't want to give Dream Medusa. It's so scary.
Well, we'll have to see what it is Dream ends up playing, what Team Empire potentially lets through, because this series is going to be going to a 3rd and final game. So another best of 3, down to just 1 more match. Can No Sorry do exactly what one move did in the previous series and notch those back-to-back victories, or will Empire be able to fight their way back to take it themselves? We will be finding out. It's about 10 to 15 minutes here, so we will step away for a moment, be back with that final game of the day in just a little bit.